Episode 1. Press anything to continue. It's not just silence that follows his pause. It's expectation. The son of a bitch knows how to talk. Oh, Boulder's hot. Dozens of people listen to Tony's sermon with tears in their eyes. After each pause, they wait. I wonder if Lou's going to turn up in this game. Suspense making their pulses race, and Tony knows it. You notice the way he waits before starting certain lines. How he builds up the crowd's energy and makes the most of every silence. Although you've heard his speeches before, you can't help but notice there's a certain magnetism in his words. You remember that before the storms, Tony had been a used car salesman. Do you know what the idea... did you know that the idea of hell is below us was etched into the Western subconscious by a 14th century poem? Come on, poem. Hell isn't below us. No, not beneath our feet. You crazy son of a bitch. Hell is above us all. People recognize the end of the sermon, and you feel like something finally breaks. A huge amount of energy gets released. And the clamor is deafening. You wonder if the same crowd could be heard over the passing of an F5 tornado. Try not to draw too much attention. You walk away from the scene by strolling to the other side of the barn. Oh, he smokes though. You can still hear them cheering. You grab your head. What were you thinking? You didn't infiltrate the Bahnsen Knights to analyze their leader's sermons. Oh, okay. For some reason from the trailer, I thought the Bahnsen Knights were like a group of street car riders, not a cult. Oh, I love that. You need to know what happened to Cooper. You think of your partner, of the work at the agency, or the beers you shared. Cooper is the godfather of your 3-year-old daughter. The day she was born, he promised that whatever happened to you, he would be there for her. You feel an emptiness in your stomach and try to think of something else. I still can't understand why you smoke that brand, Boulder. You're speaking to us. Tony, you're startled back into the present. You didn't hear him coming. I needed some air. Here. Oh my god, he's giving us a car. Grab the keys. Oh my god, even this is red this time. Love it. Tony shakes the keychain close to your face. You don't really seem to have a choice and grab the keys. Is there something wrong with my Sierra? No, it's not that. Today's sermon was intense. I need you to drive me in my Sierra. What about mine? Should I leave it here? Yeah, don't worry. Tomorrow a new driver joins the group. And we're going to use the barn for the baptism. A new baptism? This soon? You stare at Tony looking for a sign. Nothing. It's not the first time Tony's had someone drive him in his car, but it's the first time he asked you. Let's hurry before everyone heads out. You walk to Tony's Ford Sierra and get into the driver's seat. I'll sit in the back. Oh my god, he wants to feel like he's somebody. Need to stretch my legs a bit. You turn the keys and hear the engine roar. Step on it, Boulder. Don't be shy. Why did he ask you to drive him? Why not ask any of the others? Could it be because he found you near where the cars were parked and just wanted to hurry? And what was that about a new baptism? Based on what you've heard, neither candidate's ready yet. Well, that's cool. Even though you try to focus on Rue, you can't help but think that something is wrong. A doubt forms like a cloud in your mind. What does Tony know? Look at Tony in the mirror. Tony must be lying down because you can't see him in the rearview mirror. Look over your shoulder. What's Tony doing back there? You can't just drive with your back to someone like him. You push hard against the steering wheel, force your back into the seat, and try to look over your shoulder. Stay in the lane, Boulder. God, I thought we were going to crash then. It's a look that should come back. I'd love to see pictures of it. He's a vampire. I don't think he's a vampire, because I know the other game in this series is about vampires, but there is something wrong with him. Although, it'd be nice if like my character was a vampire, like a hot vampire, like an unusual, like normally vampires are very clean cut and what, aren't they? Imagine like just getting a really big, rough, like bodybuilder type guy with a big beard, loads of tattoos as a vampire. That'd be hard. You look again and straight in the car. Was Tony laying against the rear side passenger door? You're sure the voice came from that side? You're the scrambled werewolf. Actually, yeah, that's valid. That's very true. It's very true blood, right? Hey, Darrell, how you doing? Just describe his fantasy. I'm very easy to read. I'm like a colouring book. Like, man with beard and hat. Yeah, my fantasy's been fulfilled. But how did he notice the car deviating? The Sierra had barely moved from the centre of the lane. Talk to Tony. Tony, we don't have to chat, Boulder. What does he mean? Oh my god, he's literally treating us like we're his driver. Your hands sweat on the steering wheel. Turn on the radio. You don't know what Tony's doing back there, and he doesn't want to talk either. Using might help you think more clearly. You turn on the radio. Static. Someone talk about politics, not what you're looking for. You don't want to hear the sports results either, and you keep looking. Okay, we've got to go look. You feel some movement at the back. Karl and Brooke, I love you. I'm also a dumb fuck. There may be a couple floating around somewhere for my teens, but I'd have to go hunting. It was not bad of having my pick taken. Yeah, I get that. I completely get that. Leave it there. Listen. Do you recognise a song and a chill runs down your spine? Moving in the back? Yeah. I was like, excuse me. Stop fucking the back. It's an old blues songs about betrayal. Oh my god, has he called? Oh my god, does he know who we are? Is he gonna kill us? We stay on this station because he said he likes it. You focus on the song's lyrics and everything falls into place. Tony knows. Wait, was it 66.6 FM? Love that. He knows you infiltrated the Bahnsen Knights. He knows you're investigating what happened to Cupra. The son of a bitch just knows. So what would he do now? Would he wait until he got me out of the car and shoot you in the back of the head? You grip the wheel tight with both hands. Tony would never kill anyone inside one of his Sierras. You think of your daughter, of Cupra, of the promise he made you that no one would ever fulfill. Boulder, the truck! What the fuck is that? Oh, that's his face going against the windscreen. Jesus. Everything happened too fast. And although Tony wasn't killed instantly, neither of you survived the frontal collision with a truck? Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, oh my god, are we gonna die? I was like, oh, are we gonna, like, is the rest of the game gonna be dead or something? God, big fat rip. Okay, so let's change the station then. Boulder, what are you doing? Sorry, but you know the rules of Bahnsen Knights better than anyone. Driver chooses the music. Tony laughs and something about it calms you down. 16 threes, please. You really like this music? It kind of reminds me of like what music would, like Sonic music on like the original Mega Drive or something. That's it. Let's do that again. One of your favourite songs come on, and then you let go of the dial. You don't know if it's because of how Tony laughed when you mentioned one of the Bahnsen Knights rules, or because you're listening to the first song you danced to with Ava. Whatever the reason, you start to calm down. Before you know it, you're singing the song under your breath. Come on, Boulder. Louder! Pumped up by Tony's words, you start singing out loud. When you finish, Tony starts clapping. Listen, tomorrow's an important day for all of us. I move the baptism of the new driver forward because there's someone who's not going to be sticking around. The others were going to take care of him before going to the bar. Who was Tony talking about? Like, I fucking love that glasses emote of mine. It's so simple, but I fucking love it. And what had this nameless driver done? What would they do to him the same they did to Cupra? Would they do to him the same as they did to Cupra? Again, this feeling of emptiness in your stomach. But let's focus on a positive. Tomorrow you will have your first roots exorcism. Happy, Boulder? You tried to smile, to hide the shaking in your left hand. The rest of the trip you do in silence. You know what you'll have to do more careful than ever. You know that you have to be more careful than ever if you don't want to be discovered. Dan is flexing there. Was I? Oh, I was just like itching my pit. You park near the entrance of the bar, get out and open Tony's door. Tony slaps you on the shoulder and smiles. You enter the bar. Tony nods forward towards the counter and winks at you. Oh my god, is he flirting with me? He then vanishes through the door in the back. In Danny's, the beer is free for the Bahnsen Knights. Oh, nice. Love that deal. Old Danny had been one of the group's first drivers. Oh my god, he's like another big meathead. Was I? Yeah, literally that. Oh no. Did I flex my muscles? After his tragic death, his son Kevin had taken over the bar. Kevin despised Tony and his followers. Oh. But even with their differences, he upheld the agreements of the Bahnsen Knights. Does Tony know that Kevin spit in every glass of beer before putting it on the counter? Kevin, please. You hear someone swearing to your left and see a group of men walking away from the Glenlivet dartboard? The dartboard was Kevin's idea. Each customer is allowed to throw one dart a night, but not the Bahnsen Knights. Tony had taken care of that. The Bahnsen Knights can throw as many darts as they want and try to make a Glen's eye. I don't know darts. Get close to the dartboard. A Glen's eye is the highest score. The centre of the dartboard. Whoever gets a Glen's eye wins a shot or a single malt whiskey. A Glenlivet. And it's a customary for the winner to pour a shot of the Glenlivet into their eye. Jesus Christ, like a shoey or something. Oh shit, that's nowhere near it. 30. People used to say that to get a Glen's eye, you don't need to think. That when you think, your mind tricks you into seeing things more simply than they are. You don't have to worry about aiming and visualizing the imaginary crosshair. All of those are just mind games, crutches of the imagination. What you need is to wait for it and listen to your body. The body knows bolder. Oh god, am I going to mess this up? Oh, I didn't click the thing. Fuck! We're getting ordered another beer. You know he's not going to spit in your glass. Fucking mini games, honestly. Kevin was Keeper's friend, and something tells you that Kevin knows you're nothing like the rest of the Bahnsen Knights. He goes, I know. It's because like he's so nervous that he thinks Tony knows that he's like undercover. You finish your beer and stretch your back. You look over at the door in the back. There's something Tony said you can't get out of your head. Starting tomorrow, they'll let you join in the Holy Cross. You and your Forciera will participate in the root exorcisms at last. Interesting. Chapter 2? Episode 2? Episode 2. I wonder how many episodes this one is. Yesterday's was 10. I wonder if this is 10 as well. You place your hand on your chest. Imagine running it up and down the fucking Thames. This one has 10 as well. Oh shit, I need to stop talking then. And suppress the burp before it reaches your mouth. You adjust your seats. And muster the strength to embark on another day. It's been over a month since your first exorcism. You don't know how much more you can take. You still haven't discovered what happened to Cupra, nor have you found the evidence necessary to incriminate Tony. You lower the sun visor on the passenger's side. View holy cards. You gaze at the holy cards. Sometimes you wonder if the agency complicates matters unnecessarily. Each saint represents a specific area of investigation, and the holy cards serve as a means to communicate with your handler discreetly. View drawing. Ah! Anguish constricts your chest. Neither heartburn, nor the burning sensation in your esophagus troubles you anymore. They're not dead, are they? You experience a shapeless pain. A pain that doesn't cling to the body, but rather to the absence of anything. Ollie, you focus on a drawing. On those marks that still feel close to you. Yet you are part of a different life. Oh, I think they're dead. You recall Eva's laugh upon seeing how Olivia depicted you. Eva pointed to your belly and you feigned offence. You would scold her for mocking your child's artistic abilities. Okay. Eva would ask you to put Olivia to sleep, giving you a playful wink. And you would lull her to sleep, watching her fire at the pool of slumber. Aware that Eva awaited you in the other room, you shut your eyes and you believe you catch a glimpse of them. You start the car, knowing that the road numbs your consciousness. Cooper once told you that he used to fall asleep listening to a tape of white noise on his Walkman. The perfect place for those voices that kept him awake to get lost in the crowd. Have you read Poe? Cooper had held Edgar Allan Poe in high regard, and it felt like a personal affront every time you told him that you hadn't read him yet. I actually would like to read some Poe, but I never have. You glanced at the passenger seat. Would it be enough this time? The idea of using holy cards in this investigation couldn't be more apt. After all, you perceive every communication with your handler as a prayer. You walk with great strides. You remember Ava, how she mimicked the rhythm of your walk and laughed while doing so. That's a good view. There they are. Oh, they are dead. Okay, so this is set in the 80s because they died in 81. I'm guessing it's been like a year or so. Okay, how did they die? A car accident, maybe? Only one. One day we'll get more. You got this, Poppin. I hope it doesn't make you stressed, though. It's lots of fun. It's lots of fun. 100 quid's a lot. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Like, especially when you're first starting off. Like, yeah, I feel like that's a lot of money. You can buy, like, a decent amount of stock for that. It was your handler's idea. When you heard it, it seemed like a bad joke. You couldn't believe what she was proposing. Erecting the fake graves of your wife and daughter in a local cemetery. Your handler said it was perfect as a cover. Your wife and daughter would have been killed in a road accident, which would explain your disregard for life. And so, oh, so they're not dead. This is fake. Two desirable traits among the Bahnsen Knights. However, the true brilliance of the idea lay elsewhere, and that was to name them after your real wife and daughter. As an undercover agent, you would have no contact with them, and you could harness those genuine feelings of loss to make your cover more convincing. Okay, so they're actually, literally, they are alive, but, like, he's pretending they're dead as a way to get into the Bahnsen Knights. Interesting. I doubt they would. I would do it for you, because I'm nice like that. You just need to get me employed before your birthday now. You gaze at your daughter's grave. Even though you know no one is buried there, their dates evoke a profound sadness and you avert your eyes. You're aware your handler chose your daughter's grave for the exchange because that reaction is common to most people. How horrible must it be, even though it's fake, like looking down and seeing like a grave for your wife and daughter? That must be so difficult, even in this situation. It's difficult to confront the death of a child. Remember what each holy card represents. Father Mario. Father Mario was a priest from La Matanza, Argentina. He looks like a pedo. Bears like making any offense content in the hotel on his face and no one wants to run their camera. Right? I'm not paying though. It needs to be like freelance people willing to work for free. There's a famous phrase of his, I am the guitar, God is the guitar player. The agency uses Father Marion's holy card to catalogue the actions of Tony's acquaintances, and thus build a case against the entire hierarchy of the Bahnsen Knights. Saint Cajetan of Thien, patron saint of administrative officers. The agency uses his holy card to catalogue accounting documentation. Mary, undoer of knots, is an allegorical representation of human difficulties. The knots symbolise those problems that the Virgin helps to unravel. Welcome back, Dread. The agency uses a holy card to catalogue documentation that seems to have been forged. Okay, so let's go back. Examine available evidence. Copy of receipts. The receipt is for 20 cans of red paint. You know that Tony paints huge crosses on his barns. And although the receipt is not evidence in itself to convict him, it could prove valuable to forensic account. Okay. After the storm season and some security issues that followed the humanitarian crisis, the government issued a curfew prohibiting movement except for those with a special permit. How had Tony managed to get a permit issued in his name? Okay, so this was the accountant's one, right? So we're going to put the receipt on him. You assign the evidence to the holy card. Yay! Select right. Assign evidence. You assign the evidence to the holy card. Exit. Hey, Sherlock, love it. I'm sorry, Reverend. No wonder I'm good at undoing knots. Half a day on Friday, so I'm saying, hey, awesome. Okay. I'm excited for it. We are going to play like DBD, but I'm also going to play some well, as long as I'm still playing it by the end of the month, like more Cyberpunk, and we'll do Supermarket Sim. We'll do like a variety of stuff. It's not going to be mainly DBD, which would be nice. 29%, please. Will the evidence stack up this time? Could you build a case with this new information? How much longer will you enjoy the Bahnsen Knights? Ooh, 88. Getting up there, Vane. I love that for you. Nothing will match your 69 from earlier, though. However desperate you are to find out what happens to Cupra, you long to go home. Greenie? Greenie's stealing the first from everybody today. 2% hungry. Yeah, it doesn't beat the 69, does it? 48. Yeah, don't look at the other one. You want to embrace them, kiss them. You miss them so much. You yearn for Olivia to draw you, for Ava to laugh at you, to put Olivia to sleep, knowing that Ava is waiting for you in the other room. The Sierra gets in front of you, and you manage to break it at the last second. Fuck you! Vincent smiles, and you barely stop yourself from stepping out of the car to punch the grin off his face. Yeah, Vincent looks like he's got a punchable face. You think of Cupra, and one of the exercises he taught you to survive as an undercover agent. It's a mnemonic trick. You have to imagine a sort of continuum for each person you interact with. Some sort of bar divided into 7 equal parts. Follow me, Boulder. You look at Vincent, and you can imagine that bar. The beginning of the bar represents full confidence. The end, total suspicion, that point where they are going to accuse you and discover your true identity. You apply Cupra's trick to all the Bahnsen Knights. Apart from Tony. With Tony, you never know where you stand, bar or no bar. You hear Vincent rev the car's engine. He wants to see us. Oh my god, what if it was talking about us and like they're gonna ambush us and then we have to like try to survive? You grit your teeth hard. Come on, hard. You take comfort in thinking that if the evidence is good enough this time, it won't be long before you'll be back with your family. We've only got 2 bits of evidence though. Okay, we're finally done with chapter 2. It's a long way off, so Operation Twatter. He does look really twattable, to be fair. Like, Vincent has that face. Even in... How many bits would you say this is? Vincent steps on the gas. Then you can't afford to fall behind. The old roadblocks are long gone. Ever since the storm started, everyone, police, firefighters, even FEMA for a while, has been dedicated to the reconstruction effort. What's FEMA? What's FEMA? Federal Emergency Management Agency, I think? Okay. So just government officials, I guess. Or at least that's what they're trying to do. Resources are scarce. Scarce? Scarce. I never say scarce. And politics is never up to the task. In a context like this, with official actors attempting to manage the chaos, para-government organizations emerge. Keeper's mission was to infiltrate and investigate Tony and his Bahnsen Knights, a group that caught the agency's attention due to their growth in the wake of the first tornadoes. Hell on high, Tony's messianic delusion. Oh, okay, cool, thank you. The agency isn't concerned with the religious ideas of the Bahnsen Knights. The agency is interested in the power they've acquired, economic power, as well as territorial. The road leading to the barn is gravel, and despite bumping your head against the car's roof multiple times, you refuse to let Vincent gain too much distance. You hit Luca and he falls back. Oh shit, I was supposed to... Okay. He rushes, he branches a knife. Despite the others trying to stop him, the blade hits its mark, he stabs you in the stomach. The wound is deep. Thus you suffer before the darkness takes you. I'm dead. I dead. GG, thank you. Luca! Reflexes, naturally. You hit the brakes just in time. You crazy motherfucker. I didn't even see like the oh, you guys can't see it because my camera's covering it, but there was literally like a timer on the side when it happened. Literally just laying the road. Your heart is pounding. You know there's no room for even a moment's distraction when dealing with the Bahnsen Knights. You step out of the car and let them park it for you. You know they're going to tease you about this, but you also know you have a role to play. You're Boulder, a big, calm guy. But with a self-destructive urge gnawing at your core. So is his name actually Boulder, or do you think that's a code name? Like, do you reckon that's his real name? Well, the retro... Yeah, come on, retro QTEs. I love it. You're on an iceberg from which 2 chunks have been torn away, and the current carried them off, never to return. Your handler had recommended you to use the cover story to your advantage. The boulder feels conflicted about fighting a child. A child. Arguing that pity is one of the most powerful resources when it comes to diverting attention. You look at the Bahnsen Knights around you and can't help but wonder. Compassion, pity, empathy. Will these three characters be able to feel something like that? Keith was the eldest amongst them all. And if half the stories about him were true, he would have a guaranteed place at Satan's side. Luca, who you almost ran over a few minutes ago. You're pretty sure there must be a language in which Luca and Psychopath are etymologically linked. I think I butchered that. Speaking of shitting bricks, thank you, Pub. How you doing today? And Vincent, a sadist who's never heard of the Marquis de Sade. Self-taught, a natural-born sadist, and therefore much more dangerous. Sorry, I was distracted for a second. Don't worry, Boulder. At least you didn't kill me. God, look at her face. Oh, look at his teeth. Although even Olivia's deaths were part of your act, a fiction, you can't help but feel a rage that threatens to consume you. You glance at Vincent, who shakes his head back and forth. You start to say something and Keith clears his throat. Stop fucking around, you two. You know why you're here. Tony wants to exercise a new road. So I recommend you bury your demons deep, Boulder, and pay more attention next time. Oh my god, we actually exercise in the road? That makes so much sense, because they get into like the formation of a cross. Also, what do these like little tabs underneath his face mean? You look at Luca and Luca smiles. What's up, Boulder? Do you fancy me? Oh no, you look like a scrotum. On the contrary, you want to cover his face with bruises. Turn his expression into a Rorschach stain. That's hot. And not worry about what you may or may not see in it. Hey, Vincent points towards the door of the barn, and the three of them suddenly become serious. Speaking of Rome, who is she? Tony Monique, the librarian. Monique is Tony's trusted lieutenant, a woman of few words, and who you doubt knows how to smile. She's hot. Lou. So Lou hasn't shown up yet, but because it looked like he was in the trailer for the other game, I'm hoping he's in this one as well, and it kind of like ties all the three stories together. I think that'd be really fun. Listen to me. Oh, okay, has he been punching someone? By now I reckon we know all the signs. You was joking. Don't you hate it when jokes are real? Oh god, Lou, your favourite person. Why are his knuckles covered in blood? A new tornado is approaching our roads. And we're not going to let it pass. Tony goes over everyone's roles in the exorcism. Unconsciously, you position yourself on the outskirts of the group. Do these guys really think they can influence the path of a tornado? Boulder, listen to me. Today you go first. But Tony. Tony looks Luca in the eye and Luca looks down. Fine. Then, you nod. What are you waiting for? You run to the Sierra before you get in to steal a glance at the barn. What was Tony doing in there? We're playing as Daddy. Isn't he hot? He's so hot. No losing in this. I'm checking out. You stay. You stay. And whose blood did he wipe off his knuckles? You mark the position of the barn on the map. As soon as you have the chance, you go back to investigate. See, even just this close up, he looks hot, right? The screams. Where's this fucking Lou? I still don't understand how, like, an Irish person can sound like they have a fake Irish accent in a film. I don't get it. A new exorcism on the road. And this was the first time you'd be out at the front. The most important position in the formation, for which you need the total confidence of the rest of the drivers. You always found it hard to read Tony. Assign you to the top of the cross? Why give you that role? You gaze at the sun visor on the passenger seat. No, this isn't the time to seek solace in the drawings, nor to think about how much more time until the extraction. You start the car and rev the engine, hoping that the roaring noise will drown out even your own thoughts. We're gonna exercise the road! Grab your rosaries and your crosses. What do we do? Move left. I thought it was saying move left, not... I didn't realise it was telling me a car was coming. I think it was pointing... Oh my god, I thought it was pointing to where we go. For fuck's sake. Well done. Come on. Come on. Wait, why is that on cooldown? Oh, because it's Mortis and not Rip, yeah. I cannot. Why am I like this? Baboom. What am I supposed to think? If there's an arrow on the street, or a shotgun with you. Luckily, I'm in this car by myself. Your car somersaults in the air and your hands instinctively cover your face. In your final reluctant moment, you hold onto your thoughts of Ava. Despite your resistance, darkness finally envelops you. Great. With a skull. Well, yeah, because we're like evil people, no? Because we're bad guys. You're not ready to be in front of the Holy Cross. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I like this music though. Yeah, no worries, Dweez, no worries. Move left. Move right. I wonder if we can move like right twice or something. Move right. Oh, let me flip. Oh, that's so close. Okay, we can do that. Morning, Sean. How you doing, lovely? Sorry to shout. You can shout at me anytime you want, lovely. How are you doing? The tornado weakens. Road warrior, yes. Your heart races, flooded with the excitement you can't explain. You roll down a window, and only the horns of the Bahnsen Knights can be heard on the road. Yay! It only took 3 times. Also, that's the end of that chapter, right? Right? Yeah. Chapter 4. But give it a shout out for sure, no? It's not the first time it's happened to you. As soon as you walk into Danny's bar, you feel like you're floating. Like you can see yourself from the outside and you're someone else. Look who's here. The illusion soon shatters. You try to smile and return the greeting. You're a Boulder, an undercover agent investigating a religious cult led by Tony. Looking for answers about the disappearance of Cooper, your dear friend and good father to your daughter. You miss little Olivia so much. Your eyes itch, and it's not because of the smoke in the bar. You take a breath. What are you going to do now? Go to the left of the bar. Go to the right of the bar. Go to the bar? You walk to the bar. Kevin continues to do his thing without looking up. Ever feel out of place, Boulder? The question takes you by surprise. You read all of Cooper's reports, and you know that Kevin had become something like a friend to him. What exactly had it said? Kevin, current owner of Danny's Bar, is one of the most interesting characters I've met connected to the Bahnsen Knights. You'd like to tell him that you're friends with Cooper, and ask him if he knows what happened to him, but things aren't that simple. Sometimes there's just no choice. I was always good with numbers, you know. That's why Dad never let me go. The old man even asked me to do his taxes. Did you ever read Martin Gardner's columns in Scientific American? You look at Kevin carefully. Although you don't know exactly what he's talking about, you now understand Cooper's interest. The first one I ever read was recommended to me by a customer. I was 15 waiting tables. This one guy couldn't make up his mind what to order. He'd asked for one thing and instantly regretted it, changed to something else. I thought maybe he didn't have enough money. I ran him through the menu again, including combinations of stuff that I figured he might like, given what he'd already asked for. And in my head, I calculated the right price for all these made-up dishes. The guy just stared at me and told me to bring him whatever I wanted. He left me a hell of a tip, and a copy of Scientific American. On the cover he wrote, read the mathematical games column, you'll enjoy it. You know how many times I thought about getting the hell out of this place? But I couldn't leave Dad on his own. Dad got me a subscription to Scientific American, and later signed me up to a correspondence writing course. Getting the mail every month is what kept me sane, Boulder. Kevin looks at you for a few seconds. He seems to enjoy being listened to. The guy who taught me the course signed his name with only 3 letters. LCB. I used to fantasize about what those letters stood for. Lewis Carroll Bateman? Lisa Coleman Burke? But I never found out. They'd send me these booklets with theories and exercises, circle of characters LCB called his creations. I started to put what I'd learned into practice. I even sent some stories off to some address in one of the booklets, and took the chance to ask about the meaning of the signature. Never heard back. Kevin pauses before answering. Do you know how many non-collinear points are needed to define a circle? Non-collinear points are points that don't share the same straight line. Okay. Was Lewis Carroll a gross person? I feel like he was, right? It takes 3 non-collinear points to define a circle. Kevin smiles. Imagine 3 points on a piece of paper. When you connect the dots, you make a triangle. If you draw a circle that fits around this triangle, you'll see there's only one that does it perfectly. Each of the 3 points you drew is a vertex of the triangle. The corners, and the center of the circle is a special point that's exactly the same distance from each of the corners. Imagine you put the point of a compass in that spot and you make the pencil touch any of the corners of the triangle. Then draw a circle with the compass, the circumference will touch all 3 points. LCB states that a character can be defined by just 3 stories. And rather than writing novels of short stories, he prefers character circles. But a circle is a difficult geometric figure. It eats its own tail. According to LCB, the character circle is the most perfect narrative unit. And because of this basic perfection, the most tragic. Why the most tragic? Because the first thing you have to accept when you do something is that you remove the possibility of doing something else. A guy in a suit used to come into the bar. He didn't talk much. Also, I just realized there's like a beer counter there. We've not had a single beer yet. He'd read the newspaper and have nothing but coffee for breakfast. I never confirmed it, but from the first day he came, I figured he was FBI. One of the LCB exercises was about that. Observing someone and imagining 3 stories that define them. Those stories outline a character circle. Want to hear this FBI coffee's 3 stories? I want to know if I order a beer, can I then listen to the story? They did as much damage? They did. They totally did. If not, like, in a way, worse. Get a beer? Okay. You drink your beer in silence. It's the first one of the nights. Although your handler's actually smart, you know you can't drink too much. There's a point at which no matter how well you can hold your booze, you're going to start talking. And on that borderline between what's fact and what's fiction, you run the risk of someone pulling the veil, and everything coming to an abrupt end. Okay, okay, perfect. Maybe another night. I need to serve these beasts now. Maybe another night. I need to... Oh, okay. Okay, let's go to the left of the bar. Go to the emergency exit. Go outside. You take a deep breath. How much longer are you going to resist? Let's go see the Bahnsen Knights. Sit down, Boulder. There's a deck if you want to try. I have the record. You look at Luca, and Luca smiles and winks at you. How'd you like to wipe that smile off his face with a punch? Play via Crucius Solitaire. Another Solitaire type game? We're just going to talk. We're just going to talk. Monique is hot. She looks like Sammy looked in drag the other day. And also like Mia from Pulp Fiction. Okay, let's talk to Vincent. Ask him about the glasses. It seems you want to make conversation, Boulder. I could tell you I wear them because smoke irritates my eyes, or because drinking makes them red. It could be because I don't want anyone to see me as I am, and I hide behind them. Or I could tell you a story from when I was a kid. Why not? Great. 2 of my neighbours, a few years older than me, they invented this game. It involved grabbing my neck and lowering my head until it almost touched my freshly made dog turd. And seeing who could hold me the closer without my face touching it or me getting away. Well, this is a disgusting game. At first I resisted, I tried with all my strength to get out of it, but then I got used to seeing pieces of shit right up close. You know how many times I had conjunctivitis and missed school? This is disgusting. What do you say, Boulder? Could this have something to do with what happened to me when I was a kid? The truth is much simpler, you know. Glasses look fucking good on me. Sure, Jan. Although he is giving me like a younger Danny Trejo in this scene. Disgusting. More. Talk to Keith. Talk about the exorcism. You wait a second for the others to shut up, and you ask Keith if he believes in root exorcisms. Keith looks at you for a while without answering. I owe Tony a lot. I was locked up for a long time, Boulder. Do you know how hard it is to ask yourself questions knowing how much hate you not having the answers? When I was younger, I got a stupid idea in my head. Could I break someone's eardrum with a gas pump nozzle? Jesus Christ, he's a psychopath. Once the question settles in my head, Keith takes a deep breath. It's as if a stranger came into your house, sat down on your favourite couch, and started watching TV, drinking your beer, and eating your snacks. The questions in my head are that of a son of... The questions in my head are that of that son of a bitch, Boulder. And the only way I have to kick him out is to answer them. Keith scratches his face. It can be done, Boulder. Ian McKellen here. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that. I was kind of hoping he'd look more like Keith Richards. Because it's the only like famous Keith I can think of. But yeah, definitely like a young Magneto vibes, right? Yeah, Magneto, exactly. Puncturing someone's eardrum with a gas pump nozzle is a lot easier than you think. Well, let's not try that. We know, Percy. We know. And good for you. Good for you, lovely. Okay, let's talk to Luca. Oh my god. Let me... Excuse me. Talk about almost running him over. I don't understand how you killed your family. You have good reflexes. Without taking your eyes off him for a second, you think of all the options you'd have if you didn't care about the mission. Punch him in the face until he's unconscious. Smash a beer glass against the gleaming surface of his skull. Flip the table in the air and elbow him in the neck amid the confusion. You have the channel points for it. Cute. So, Boulder, what are you going to do? You know what Luca didn't like Tony choosing you to be in front of the cross? I'm not going to deny that you've got balls, Boulder. But sometimes it takes more than balls sometimes it's not enough to have balls, and fuck me. Luca takes a deep breath and takes a good gulp of beer. You wonder how Luca can screw up the punchline or something as basic as sometimes it takes more than balls to. And at the same time joke so effortlessly about a tragedy like the supposed death of your family, even demonstrating a good sense of timing. Wig. Okay, let's go back. Let's go to the bar. Let's grab another drink. The second. Maybe another night. I need to... Okay, that's fine. Ooh! Percy, 98%. You've been saving that up. Approach the jukebox. Look at the pictures. Select left. Would it be enough to just want to believe? A former president of the country. You wonder how there are still people who believe in politicians. Mood. Danny posing with a younger man you don't recognise. You read the message on the picture. To a true fan, Scaloni. 16. Dread. It's because Leon. Are you playing any Resident Evil games or anything in a minute? The first set of pictures is a famous crooner. What was his name? Tim Robinson. Next to it, a picture of an attractive woman. Could she be famous? The third picture is of Danny with a man you don't recognise either. And Danny's behind the bottom picture. The date on the corner suggests that the photo was taken around the time of the inauguration. Is that Elvis? Elvis! It is! Is it true what you heard at the agency about his death? Are they suggesting it's faked? A group of friends. The photo is old. Why are you looking at the pictures on the wall of a shitty bar? Sometimes you think that everything you do is nothing more than a simple distraction. A way to delay the inevitable. I was hoping there'd be a trophy for that. You know what they say. That's the only thing I got. That you said that. Oh, I like this. Sounds like Robin or something. 20%. Better than Dreads. It's getting better. I love that for you. Oh my god, Drake? There's a man you've never seen before sitting at one of the tables. His face is covered and you wonder if he's hiding from someone. But isn't it true that we all hide from someone else? Let's talk to him. You start to say something, the man looks you in the eye. You decide not to bother him. You recognise the need to be alone when you see it. Who is he? Does he know? Does anyone know? 88% hungry. Get that food. There are 2 goons checking that no one enters the office. I've been eating way too much. Okay, so what do I do then? Oh, ask about... Okay, we unlocked that. Sweet. Kevin looks at you and seems to hesitate, but in the end he says nothing. You remember Cooper's technique, the imaginary bar. Maybe if you could get Kevin to trust you completely and deplete that bar. Oh, that's the trust bar. 12%. Why do you guys hate me? Bird view of the night. %. I mean, it's slowly going up. I wish you guys liked me more. The food has all been good, but I'm just grazing so much. The health issues I'm suffering with has brought me getting out and doing my running, so I can't. So I can literally feel myself getting bigger. I think that's the worst thing, isn't it? Like when you can feel it in yourself, it just feels like there's just even less hope of cutting down sometimes. Streamlabs lies, sure, Jan. Why don't you come here and chat? You make a hand gesture and walk to the door. Exorcisms on the road. Messianic delusions. Sadist at the wheel. And the constant threat of being killed. How much more of this could you take? Is that the end of the chapter? Oh, it was. Okay. Is it me? Or is the building, like, collapsing as each chapter goes on? Halfway! 2 hours. Your waist hurts. Okay, this looks like something else. You feel a burning in your esophagus, and the onset of a cramp in your left leg. You try to remember happier times, times when you awoke differently. Eva used to rise before you. The first thing that would greet you was the aroma of coffee wafting from the kitchen. After a while, she'd enter the room with 2 steaming cups. She set them on the bedside table and placed a kiss on your lips. The coffee would stop steaming and cool in the cups. Maybe if he had more beers. Maybe. But neither of you would particularly mind. Years later, Olivia would arrive, and the mornings would be different. Not better nor worse, just different. Suddenly, breathing becomes a struggle. A profound sense of loss engulfs you. It's as if Ava and Olivia were no longer there. It's as if the accident had really happened, and you can never see them again. So, the guy earlier made a comment that made it sound like we killed, well, in our cover story, he said that he killed his wife and kid. You shake your head. How much did you drink last night? Well, whoever left you the note had done a good job. The fact that they did it without you noticing bothers you. You step out of the car, and the morning's chill takes you by surprise. Mile 54. You think about the graphology classes at the agency. The meaning entwined within each stroke. Yet, beyond all theoretical discourse, you recognize the sender of the message. Could it be actual evidence? You look around you. The cars of the Bahnsen Knights rest like cattle in the field, before their circadian rhythm kicks in. Look at Vincent Sierra. Vincent sleeps. That's better. You still remember the story he told you when you asked him about the glasses. Is it true? Or is it part of the story he told to fit into the world of the Bahnsen Knights? Is there even a word out there? Instinctively, you look at the sun visor and sigh. Of all the Bahnsen Knights, Monique is the one with whom you find it hardest to strike up a conversation with. You're not surprised. You were never good at talking to women. You think of Ava. If it wasn't for her, you two would have never had a first date. Ah, thank you. Thank you, Tony. Bits are hot, bits are very hot. You can't stand Luca. His attitude, the way he talks to people, that giggling. You remember your high school years, where unfortunately you crossed paths with several people like him. You don't want to wake anyone up. Last thing you need is for any of these sociopaths to tell you. And you only start the engine when you figure you're good and far down the road. Mile 54. What's Tony after at mile 54? Your stomach grumbles and a gloomy thought crosses your mind. What if this was your last shot at breakfast? You try to think of the Bahnsen Knights territory, of the number of barns with that giant red cross slapped on the wall. What would all this look like from above? Kiefer was always on about the gap between a map and its territory, and he'd shake his head when you said you still hadn't picked up Borges, despite the prodding. Borges? Borges? She is, she really is. I love it when you can tell someone's, like, attractive in, like, really low pixel games. You order a black coffee, eggs, and bacon. If this is your last breakfast, you won't be missing out on anything. All of a sudden, appetite's gone. You drop your fork on your plates and wonder if maybe it'd been better never having tasted happiness in life. What? Like, is he getting confused? Is he, like, really... Is he forgetting that his wife and kid are actually alive? Oh, what type of pizza are you gonna get, Vane? I fucking love pizza. I love pizza so much. Excuse me. Sorry, the yawnies are coming. You feel the dampness in your eyes and the quiver in your hands. Happiness, that's the worst drug. Withdrawal hits harder than a freight train. You just want to head back home. You wish all this to be over. How much longer are you going to hold out? Cooper had it figured. More than a few times he yammered about time being the biggest foe of an undercover agent. What was that line he just couldn't quit repeating? Reality is just an illusion we've gotten used to. The Matrix. What the? The evidence you left on your daughter's grave is no longer there. But the other three holy cards are. Father Mario, holy card used by the agency to catalog the actions of Tony's circle. Same code of the FBI used to catalog counting documents. And Mary Undo of Knots used to catalog material about being forged. Along with these holy cards, you find two new ones. Our Lady of Health and Saint Expeditious. Expeditus? Fucking hell. Oh, I need to save. I haven't saved this whole time. You bend down to pick them up and you feel a great sense of helplessness. What on earth is your handler looking for? More evidence that Tony's a son of a bitch. Why do I feel like the woman is going to end up being his handler and she's been undercover this whole time as well? Isn't it enough to know Cooper's gone? And Cooper, did he find anything? Or had he simply been discovered? Your head's spinning and you try to concentrate. Almost as if nature was giving you a sign. You spot the shadows slipping away the lights under the light of the midday sun. It's time. Oh, it's time. The road meanders gently, and you think of Ava. How she'd sway to her jam, all graceful and free. It's a stone's throw away now, and you ease off the gas, and there it is, finally. Thought you weren't showing up. You smile. You never considered that option. Here we are. At mile 54. And it ain't just us who've crossed paths at this point, it's her. You're familiar with the backstory of the Bahnsen Knights? You'd like to tell him yes, to spill that you're an undercover agent, and there's a fat file about it back at the agency. You'd buy a ticket to see the look on his face, ask him about your partner, but you just shake your head. Hold on a sec. I guarantee it's going to be worth your while. Back in 83, there was this curious happening. Two F5 tornadoes nailed the heart of the county at the same time. Remember what they blabbered about their paths on TV? It's tough for you to admit, but it only took him 3 sentences to hook you. You remain silent and let him continue telling his story. I was working as a used car salesman back then. My town took the biggest punch. One tornado slashed it south to north. Later another one swept in southwest to northeast. This way. Like a cross? Like a cross. Got saved by a fluke. Tony takes a pause. Town was pretty much wiped out. My boss was a son of a bitch. Mark Fisher. Mark Fisher? You scour your memory for that name popping up in the agency dossier. And I ain't just tossing that out. You know what Monique says about adjectives, right? You don't. But you're glad to have a new topical conversation with the librarian. Anyway, Mark owed me commission for my last sales. He knew I needed that cash, but didn't give a damn. Once the sirens quit wailing, I hoofed it to the office, sifted through the debris, clinging to the hope of scooping up anything, but I found nothing. Cash box was busted open, never found out who swiped the money. It wasn't Mark, he died in the storms. Something snapped in me. I started tearing everything apart, like a third tornado ripping through the damn offices. Must have caught the glint of metal. Behind the picture frame was a key. Mile 54. I figured Mark had other stuff going on, so without thinking too much, I left the office, and I started looking for Mile 54. You got any clue how many Mile 54 markers live to this county? County? You shake your head and Tony grins. Started off with the closest one, and I didn't find anything. Kept at it, and after a while, landed in this spot. The barn was padlocked, but I got the key. I couldn't believe my eyes. Felt like I stepped into heaven's gate. Sierra's stretching as far as you could see. Oh, that makes sense, because, like, he was a car dealer. Why are they leaving? Maybe because they covered your shit? Are you leaving it, Jack? You need to get out there. My boss had him imported from Europe. And for some reason, he couldn't just sell him yet. You know what a cross is, Boulder? A cross is an intersection. A meeting point. 2 tornadoes. A guy and a batch of imported cars. Tony takes a pause. His stare's intense. It's hard for you to bear it. But also 2 friends. Or a pair of foes. Each of us carries more than one cross. The key is knowing which one to flaunt to others. Silence gets heavy. You don't dare to break it. Shall we go back, Boulder? You nod. And Tony's words rattle in your head. Ooh.